my pops was from the East Coast. I stayed in the Grape Streets. They don't around, so I couldn't even say who my pops was living over there for a long period of time. I had so many cousins in jail. I didn't know who the was until like certain Thanksgivings when get out and they fresh home and shit, with ankle bracelets on it. Like, yeah, cuz, don't go to jail because the food in there is horrible.
Me and Yuck Mouth was talking about this yesterday. You being from the hood, you lost your father at a young age.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, as an OG to a young G, do you feel like we dropped the ball on y'all? Do you feel like, you know, our generation dropped the ball in terms of giving y'all game and steering y'all in the right direction?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like, you can't necessarily blame it on them because they didn't know no better. They were trying to figure it out when they was our age. So it's the same thing. I feel like, you know, history repeats. Everything repeats itself. So the things that they might be like, well, you youngsters today, boy, y'all was on that same shit. But I feel like the structure is lost for the simple fact that some of the OGs aren't standing on the OG morals and vows that it once was. So it makes it harder for them to have more of a voice over influence over them, because the young, they're like, nigga, what, bro? I don't want to hear that shit about the 90s, nigga. We here now, nigga. I'm chipping. I don't give a fuck. They don't got respect for like the older G's, and then some of the older G's don't have, you know, stripes, as they would used to say. Like, or just that, because they ain't been out in the field like that. So a lot of times they're comfortable with the young niggas making the money, and they're under that versus structuring them. A real big homie, it's not always gonna lead you to crime. A big homie like, hey, nigga, figure out something to do with your money. Duck off, put your money here. Do this, do that, and the third. That's the definition of a big homie. It's like, we do this fucked up shit, but I gotta teach you some shit that's gonna help you get away. Because think about it. How many real big homies really made it alive? It's only a few that know how to manage their money, put their money somewhere. They move out. It's just, the big homies aren't the big homies no more. But just like big mamas. There's no big mamas in the world, so that's why people want to complain about the, you know what I'm saying, the grandparents being young and shit. There's no more big mamas, or not enough values or love that was stemmed down to people, because, you know, big mama, that's the one that you was fearful of. Like, for sure. Nigga, you can be upset at your mom, or you can be in trouble with your mama, but if she tell granny, oh, it's up. So it's like, it's just the lack of having that.
And you know, grandma's is in the club now.
Oh yeah, throwing that old ass.
But you. I'm trying to say something serious. But you are younger than us. I'm 41. He's a little older than me. But like, is there no big home? Is there? Because so we got different generations, right? I graduated in '99. So you got him, and then I'm on the heels of him, and then you're on the heels of me. I did have a H Wood, man. That's my big brother, man. Like, when we look, I mean, I ain't gonna speak on H Wood shit, but shootings were happening. People were getting popped in my neighborhood, because I come from a Crip neighborhood. Like, my neighborhood was infected with the LA gang culture too. I told him, remember the time I told you I got banged on in 6th grade? As a white kid, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I grew up in the Jordan era. I had my Bulls starter shit on, with the J's on. And they was like, hey, this is Crip. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm a dorky ass white kid. I'm like, what? But I'm from the neighborhood. Hey, I'm born and raised in the worst part that they from. Like, I'm from the fucking block, but I just didn't know. I'm just watching Jordan. I'm just a fan of basketball and shit. And I'm like, oh, we can't wear red over here anymore. I'm telling my mom, like, you gotta take this shit. I need a Georgetown. I need a Hoyas.
That same thing happened to me.
And I got banged. I got banged though, because I ain't a gang member. But what I will say is, I did have a big homie, and I'm in a different era than Court. But like, I had someone who I consider a big brother who was like, man, people was getting dropped in our neighborhood. We had an all-out war happening at one point. And he was like, man, you real slick with your mouthpiece. And we was going city to city selling compilations and CDs. And he was like, bro, you getting money. Like, don't be out there with these motherfuckers. Like, get this money. And that, honestly, man, and I give Leo his credit, man. He one of the reasons why I was like, man, I gotta go do something other than be like in the neighborhood. So I'm just asking you, because you're behind me. You know, when we talked to Yuck and some of the other people, they were like, yeah, we don't have, but I did have a big homie. So like, did that just go away? Did you have it when you was growing up? Was people looking out?
I'm gonna keep it 1,000. My pops was my big homie. My mama was my big homie. And my uncle, Vardell. Like when my pops was incarcerated, that was like the only homie my dad, like that's my dad's best friend. And he was the only one that used to come to the house, check on us, make sure we were straight or whatever. Like this nigga would come at 2 a.m, we used to lock our gate because we used to tired of the crackheads breaking in my mama's car or some shit. So we had locked the gate. He'd hop on the gate, knock on the window, 2 a.m. Hey, where y'all at? Y'all good? Y'all doing something? Y'all listen to your mama? Like, he was one of the ones that did let us know. My pops was like, don't be fucking around out here. My mama was the same thing. So that's what I had, like, because
and they certified. I mean, they real.
Like my family, like,
so you had family structure.
Yeah,
so
like,
you didn't have to look necessarily to the neighborhood homies.
Yeah, nah. Like I had to survive because the thing about it is, my pops was from East Coast. I stayed in the Grape Streets. They don't fuck around, so I couldn't even say who my pops was living over there for a long period of time. Like I couldn't even say that shit. So I had that, but my other cousins was chasing after the hood shit. So they nigga trying to be that one. So they wasn't necessarily trying to stir me and shit because they was out there doing shit and then being in jail for long periods of the time. Like, nigga, I had so many cousins in jail. I didn't know who them niggas was until like certain Thanksgivings and some shit when niggas get out and they fresh home and shit with ankle bracelets on and shit. Like, yeah, cuz, don't go to jail because the food in there is horrible. Like, I only had, you know, my mama, my dad, and my dad best friend. Like, so that's who taught me. Yeah, really, because I was trying to gang bang too because I saw, you know, I mean, I heard the stories of who my dad was and my cousin, so nigga, I wanted to be one of them.
You know, the crazy thing is, it was the same with me. Once I was listening to y'all talk, and I was thinking about, damn, who was my big homies? Yeah, and my big homies, I mean, up until I got with Master P, you know, with street cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, one, I can't say his name, but I mean, well, I can say his name. I just won't say all the shit he did. But like Ant. You know what I'm saying? Ant Dog, he was older. He was my partner Cisco's brother. You know, real gangster, like for sure, like all the way through. You know, Osco from SSP, another gang I ran with. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, allegedly. I'm just thinking back to myself, like how the fuck I didn't wind up in the penitentiary. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean? It was God. His blessing.
Because I had like because I'm trying to think of if they gave me positive shit at that time of my life. Because we was all kind of on the same bullshit. They was just older than me. Yeah. So the game I got from them was, at that time, was relative to some street shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I got positivity. I'll say right now, like we were involved. I've told you before, and I won't speak on. We were involved in dumb shit, and shit was jumping off, and as it pertains to that, we were all down for whatever happened. Like whatever happens. But I feel like most of the time it was like, man, we got to get to this money. We got to get to this. And it was like, don't let that fuck up the bag. Like, don't.
Yeah. And that's, you know what? And that's crazy, bro. The money play, the motivation of money didn't come from them. Like I mean, I want to choose my words carefully, but it wasn't money. It was that other shit. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, the money shit, that came from just me and probably the exposure with P. You know, once I got with P in 96, then my mentality changed. Yeah. You know, that's why I've always been so thankful for P, you know, because I think that if I hadn't had the influence of him, you know, because I got with P when I was like 18, you know what I'm saying? So that gave me some hope and some direction because I was able to see something different and see somebody doing something different. Yeah. I think that
you see how he flexed on us, like my homie when I was 18, just his neighborhood.
Hey, that
ain't nobody who was it? Shit, Master P,
you know, but the
light flex.
Light flex.
But the importance of that is the fact that I think sometimes, like you said, the little homies gotta see something different. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have been, you know, one of the top drug dealers in KC that I could have been following in behind and got indicted with him, you know, which I had them as well. You know what I'm saying? So like I tried
allegedly.
I tried to tell allegedly.
We're gonna run with that shit.
Shout out to Yuck.
Yada, man.
Oh,
I try to tell the young homies, man, sometimes you just gotta listen, bro. Like, cause sometimes us as OGs, bro, we have the information not because we did everything correctly. Sometimes we have more doing it wrong. We have more experience of doing it wrong. I didn't made every fucking excuse known to me. I mean, every fucking mistake known to man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's just, I ain't gonna make no excuses. You feel me?
I see you round back when I was down. Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around. Karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now. You gotta pay.